Welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabby Paglia. Today we have a very special video. This is not something I typically do. Matter of fact, I've never done a video like this, but today I'm going to be showing you my new car. Finally, I've had it for a couple months, but I wanted to kind of wait so I could give an honest review. I also feel like this goes without saying that I did not get this car gifted to me. I spent my hard-earned cash and money and worked my ass off to get this car, so it's not a sponsorship, it's not like a brand deal. Like, this is just my honest opinion as a consumer of this certain car. To me, that's a pretty big achievement. I'm just really happy I finally have something that I feel like is actually mine and it's in my name. No one could take that away from me. So that's just my whole like little spiel about this car. Just felt like sharing it with you guys. We're going to get right into it. I'm kind of going to lay out the video as like a car channel would. I want to show you guys the exterior of the car as well as the interior. Then I'm gonna go over a few little details that really sold me on it and why I decided to purchase this car. And then I'm going to go over lastly the pros and cons and then my overall review. So I'm just really quickly going to tell you guys about the car, the make, the model, and then what I was looking for in a car. It is the Mazda 3 sedan and it is the 2023 Carbon Edition. When I was looking for a car, I first saw this car back in December of last year, so 2022. Around that time, like, I was just looking for a car. I knew I wanted a brand new car. I didn't want a pre-owned. That's just my personal preference. I just wanted a car that had 0 miles on it, literally brand spanking new. At the time, I didn't know of many people that owned Mazdas, but I've seen it get compared a lot to the Honda Civics or the Honda Accords, which is what I used to have. So I was like, okay, let me like check it out, go on the website, see what they have, if I like the interior. I was just looking at the different options for the colors and everything, and then I saw the Carbon Edition. So I saw that the exterior of this car and the color was a matte blue gray. That's like the best way I can describe it. The matte just did not have any sparkles in it. It was very nice, clean finish on the exterior of the paint. And then the inside is what really got me like sold on this car pretty much. The seats and the interior are red leather, and it's not that really like obnoxious fire red, which is something I'm also very picky about. It's kind of like a burgundy maroon almost. It was in my price point. It was what I was willing to spend on the car, so I checked it out. I was able to test drive the actual sedan, put my money down on it, and then I went back like a week later and I bought the car. It was really cool to me because I obviously have never experienced anything like this. When I pulled up to the dealership, they had my car sitting right out front. It was all clean. It was ready for me to go. So that's the full story pretty much. And now I'm gonna take you guys outside. I'm gonna show you the car and then we're gonna go over a few things. So this is the car, and then right as I get close, this will unlock for me. I didn't have to press any buttons. It's a keyless entry. And I'm gonna get in the car. So when you hop into the driver's side, this is what it looks like. Bose speaker over there, and then I just have some cleaning products and my safety windshield breaker. Once I turn the car on, this is gonna light up and the infotainment center will go on. Then I'm gonna go over all of that and all the fun little things. This car is also a keyless startup, so I'm just gonna press the button right here. That beeping sound will turn off in a few seconds, or if I already have a seatbelt on, it'll turn off just like that. Once the car's on, this is what the display will look like, and it's actually pretty cool because if you press this info button right here, I can change the sensor, so I can have just the regular speedometer, or this one gives me the driving information, like which way I'm driving and the average mile per gallon. This setting that I'm on right now, this was just the factory setting. I usually do drive with this on, or if I, for whatever reason, want to know which way I'm going, northeast, southwest, whatever, sometimes I'll put that on. I like this though because it's not so much to look at, and I like how the miles per hour are just at the top instead of a regular speedometer, but it's nice that you have the option. And then over here on the left-hand side, this is RPM, and then on the right, obviously, is my gas and the temperature of my car right now. Then over here, when I am not connected to Apple CarPlay, this is my Bluetooth. This is what the infotainment system looks like, not plugged into CarPlay. I have the entertainment, communication, navigation, everything that normally comes in cars these days. Then in the middle center console right here, I have my heated seats, I have my hazards, I have the AC, and I just have some little storage space down here. And then this is where my cup holders are, which is something I'm not used to, but I actually kind of like that it's not in the way. So I just usually throw my keys right in there, and then obviously we have our gear shift, and this is the whole infotainment system. So apparently there is a way to jailbreak this so it can become a touchscreen. I just have not done that yet. So the only way to control this as of now is this big button right here. You move it left and right to scroll, and then to tap on something, you just press this down. This is the home screen, which is what I'm on right now. This is to go back, this is for navigation, and this is obviously for my music. Right here is my favorite, so if I have any numbers saved or favorite stations saved, they will be right here. A volume up and down, and this is also to skip back, move forward, or to mute the sound altogether. This is my center storage console. It could look a lot better right now. Again, I have another plastic organizer just with some necessities, a couple pens, hairbrush, chapstick, hand sanitizer, you name it, it's in there. Then I have my dust cleaning gel right here, and then just some gum. And this is how I plug in my phone to use the Apple CarPlay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. Once my Apple CarPlay is connected, you will notice up on the screen right here, there is the Apple CarPlay logo, which was not there before. I'm going to tap on the entertainment, and I have all my source lists up here. This is also how I listen to the radio. I also have Pandora, which is pretty cool. Obviously, we have the Bluetooth that automatically connects to my car once I step in it, or my phone's closer in range. And then here is the Apple CarPlay, and I'm gonna click on that. And that is how I get Apple CarPlay. So it's pretty standard, it's nothing fancy or new. Then this is the Apple CarPlay home screen, and I have everything on here, all my messages, navigation, even have Dunkin'. This is just the location services, the map if I am using it, and the music. Moving back to the center console real quick, there was a divider that did come with the car. I decided to take it out and not use it because I obviously have a lot of junk, and that was taking up space, which I wouldn't have room to fit all of this. Now moving over to the passenger side of the car, obviously I have my little Bath & Body Works clip, and then in my glove box, I have a travel Sol de Janeiro travel pack if I'm ever staying over someone's house, whatever. My insurance cards and everything I need, which coincidentally matches the leather interior. I purposely did that. This did not come with the car. I bought this off of Amazon. And then I have my Mazda owner's manual just tucked in there, and then some other important documents. Back to the driver's seat, I'm gonna focus more on the wheel. So obviously we have our volume up, volume down, mute button, to skip back, to skip forward, and this is how I change the source. If I want to listen to Pandora or I want to listen to the radio, I can do it here or from the infotainment center. Over here, this is my lane assist. The button on the bottom right here, this is a lane assist if I only want to know how far I am behind or in front of one car. The multiple lanes right here, this is if I want a lane assist warning to go off if I'm approaching the car too fast or I'm getting a little bit too close to the car. This is like last resort. I typically have it just on this setting. And this is also a set reset button for the lane assist as well. This button right here shows my gas mileage. If I have it up, if I press it, it goes away. Over here on the right hand side, this is my throttle for the windshield wipers. I have it set on auto right now. Then on my left side, I have my auto high beams right here. This is also on an auto setting for the high beams as well as the regular headlights. So I can change that if I want. I usually just keep it on auto. And then obviously my turn signals. So if I press that, my lane assist button to turn it off is right here if I don't want the steering wheel to shake or beep at me. When I'm going over potholes, it is pretty sensitive with that, and it doesn't know how to differentiate between me swerving around the pothole or me getting off the lane. So that can get annoying sometimes, but I can always turn it off. And then right here, I think it's really cool. If I have my seat in a setting and I specifically have it the way I want it to, it's like my perfect height and everything, I can hold on one of these buttons to set the seat in place so I don't have to keep moving it. This is also a button for me to pop my trunk. The settings right here to change my mirror. I can choose which mirror I need to go down if I am parking in reverse. So just for fun, show you guys my car in reverse, and since the right one is selected right now, that one is going to turn down once I put my car in reverse, so it makes it easier for me to see the ground, how far I am to the curb. Put my car in reverse, and that mirror has already went down. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm going to switch it over to make the left one go down, and there you go. Once I put my car back into park or drive, they will automatically go up by themselves again. Right here, this is the rear view mirror, and I have some system lights up here to let me know when the airbag is off. If someone is sitting in any of my seats and they do not have their seatbelt on, that will light up and tell me which seat needs to be buckled. Up here, I have my lights. I have some storage space for my sunglasses that just like to fall out all the time. Get back in there. I have a button for my sunroof. Now from a backseat passenger's point of view, this is what the car looks like. The seat looks ridiculously fucking close to that steering wheel. I'm 5'2". Alright, so I don't have very long legs, and good for the person who sits back here because they have more leg room. Like I mentioned before, typically Mazda sedans or the hatchbacks do not have a lot of leg room, so that would be a problem if you had larger passengers sitting in the back seat. This is just my sunshade, ignore that. So over here we have the window button, we have some cup storage back here. The driver's seat does not have a little pocket on it, which I thought was kind of strange, but obviously that's not bothering me because I'm going to be the one driving the car. The passenger seat for the front of the car, however, has one, so I'm not sure why they couldn't just add another. There are no outlets or plugs back here, so that kind of sucks for any people I'm driving with that have to charge their phone. And then the center seat right here does come down. There is storage for some cups. There is no way to get back into the trunk, which personally I don't really mind. I feel like if I need to get into my trunk, I can just get out of my car. I do like that there are cup holders here. What I would have liked though is maybe just some more USB ports or something back here, or maybe even like a pull-out tray for more storage. So now I'm going to go over the pros and cons that I found from driving the car for a couple months now. Start with the cons first. Since there's not as many, there are no wireless charging pads for your phone. I have to connect cord in for the Apple CarPlay. I can't just like lay my phone down on like a charging pad or anything because there is not one. Another thing, and this is probably more specific to the sedan, I feel like there is not a lot of backseat legroom. If you're from PA or literally anywhere near PA, you know the potholes here, they're horrendous and they're all over the place. So I've noticed that sometimes when I'm trying to swerve over the potholes, the driving assist will mistake that for going over the lines of the road sometimes, and it will try to get you back to driving straight on the road. When I'm driving past parked cars at night or just like brightly lit landmarks that would reflect off my car's lights, the auto high beams will mistaken that for a car and the auto high beams will turn off. I mean, the lights are bright enough on their own, but if you're in an area where you genuinely need the headlights and high beams on, I can see where that would be an issue. Another thing, and this is just a personal preference, but I also just feel like for the price that you're paying for the car, I feel like the Bose speakers should be all around, but instead of that, you only have the two Bose speakers on the front half of the car, so the driver and passenger side. I found out, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think my make and model, and I don't know if it's Mazda's across the board, but my car, I could not find an eco mode. There is no physical button for that. I did briefly look through the manual to see if I could find anything. I did not. But the Mazda itself, it is fairly good on gas. I believe it got like a 7.5 rating out of 10 for gas efficiency. I don't really care about that as long as I'm not spending like $80 on a full tank, which I have not so far. My car engine, when I first turn it on, range per mile will go up to around 1,500 to 2,000, and then it'll start to come down within a few seconds and it sounds fine. I don't really know how to explain it. It just sounds like it's overcompensating. And then I did ask a few people just from being a passenger experiencing sitting in my car a few cons about it. A couple people said that the engine was quiet. I'm talking about like car people. They would like to hear more of that roar from the engine when you first start it up. That does not bother me. I actually prefer it to be quiet because if I need to go out late at night, I'm not disturbing anyone or my neighbors. Now, for a 2023 brand new car, I would expect there to be more little gadgets, more technology that's a little bit more advanced since it is for the current year. However, with the Mazda, I kind of did notice compared to other cars that are from this year, it has more of a simplistic and clean look, which I really do appreciate that, but I feel like they could have upped the electronics section a bit more. Listen, all I wanted was the Apple CarPlay. I didn't have any kind of touchscreen or infotainment center in my older car, so I just really wanted that, and I got that, so I can't complain. Like, this one is only the driver's seat is motorized, the rest are manually adjusted, which I feel like at least the passenger seat should be motorized, or it could be. The seats are not cooling, but they do have the heating setting for obviously when it's colder out. And then the last thing, the wheel rims are pretty thin, so you do need to be careful again going over uneven roads or potholes. I do look really nice, but I feel like I personally would need them to be a little, like a tad bit thicker. If you run over something really like hefty, I feel like that is just gonna pop. That is all my cons. Most of them were kind of materialistic things. Now we're gonna get into the pros, and I'm gonna tell you what I do like about it. Once again, I did ask my friends and family for input on the car. Everyone that has been a passenger in my car so far said that the car drives super smooth, and I do agree with that. I also think that the car is really easy to maneuver. The interior of the car is just like immaculate, amazing. There's little details of red stitching even in the black leather parts of the interior, which I really like, and I think that makes it look very minimalistic and simplistic, but also very classy. So that's just like a cute little touch that I like that they did. And you can tell the interior is very well made too. Like, it's all good quality leather. Not that I know that much about leather, but it just feels very I'm not gonna say expensive, but it feels very bougie. The screen is really nice. I like the placement of it too. It's not too big and it's not very distracting. The Bose speakers, as you could imagine, they're super crisp, and you can change the surround sound to linear, or if you want it to surround the entire car. The leather specifically, because it is mostly leather interior, it's very easy to clean. I've not had any issues with staining or cracking. Cargo space, or the trunk, is relatively large for the car. I feel like it does have a lot of space. I haven't gotten to use it so much yet, but assume I would have room to put like multiple beach chairs or just anything large I feel like would fit in there. It is a pretty nice large cargo space in the back, so I do like that as well. The price point and the MSRP for what I paid on this was normal to average for me, at least. I feel like I got what I paid for. Not gonna get into specifics, but you can look it up if you're interested in the exact price. There are a ton of different ways to customize through the infotainment center. The car as a whole, exterior and interior as well, I feel like it has a very unique color. I know my car is not the only car that has a blue gray in this color, but I feel like it's just different. So I do like that it's not just like a regular, like a navy blue or something like that. My car is obviously automatic, but it does have a manual setting as well as a sport mode setting, which I am going to try out for the first time. We're gonna cut to the sport mode reaction. So this is my first time testing out the sport mode. It's just a little switch right here. You just push it up and then obviously to turn it off. I don't know like the terminology regarding the sport mode. I don't know how much faster it's gonna go. So I just turned the sport mode on. Obviously you can see it's lit up right there. We're on the main road. I'm gonna pick up speed. Honestly, it does not feel any faster. This is kind of anticlimactic, but we're also not on the highway, so I honestly cannot tell the difference between sport mode and my regular one. We're doing 55 right now. What I really like about the backup camera, it is very crisp, like very high definition. I do appreciate that. It alerts with sound and sight cues for objects or people walking behind your car. Mazda does have one continuous body line as opposed to multiple, which I think gives it a very nice, sleek and clean look. The beige interior on the top, because of the color of that, I'm assuming the top of my car rarely ever gets hot. The car does have an auto start, unlock, lock, pop the trunk, and etc. through the Mazda app, and you can do this anywhere in the world. You do not need to be in close range or proximity to the car, which is like really cool to me. It's really helpful if you're on vacations or you're just somewhere maybe that you cannot get to the car, and if you get a notification like, hey, your trunk's unlocked, go in through the app and lock and secure the car, which is really nice. Knowing me, I will probably do that one day, and I'll need to lock it from my phone. And the Mazda app is really easy to use. It tells you the PSI of the wheels, the summary of your drives, your gas mileage, etc. I don't know if this is just what the company does for Mazda customers. I don't know if it's just the specific Mazda that I went to, but I get free car washes for lifetime. Not just like a year, for lifetime. I get free car washes at the Mazda dealership, which that's like insane to me. Free is free. Like if I'm getting it free, I'm gonna get my car washed. So it's really nice of Mazda to do that. Again, I don't know if it's just the specific dealership or if it's like all around. Let me know if you know, or if you have a Mazda and you knew about this, or if you didn't, you're welcome. Another thing I really like about the Mazda brand, if I'm in a situation maybe later down the road where I need to get parts for the car, they are very inexpensive to change and they're pretty easy and affordable to find. The car is basically free for the first month and a half, and I don't know if that's just the way that I did my financing, but I just made my first car payment and it's July, and I've had the car since May. First month and a half, it was basically free, and I was just like driving that bitch around. The steering wheel as well is very sleek, thin, and it has a soft kind of touch to it, which is really nice. I don't know, it's a different like leather than the seats and the rest of the interior are. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just very soft to the touch. The acceleration is very fast. I don't know the specifics of it, so I'm not even gonna try and do that. I'm sure they have it on their website or somewhere. And then last pro I have about the Mazda 3 is that the brakes are not at all touchy. That was another big thing I needed to not have for the car I was looking at, or when I was just looking at cars. There are other cars, I'm not gonna name drop, but there were other cars I looked at before Mazda, and I just did not like the way they drove. I just felt like I had to be super light on them, or they were just like a little too touchy for my liking. I don't know how else to explain it, but I really like how the engine and everything runs in the Mazda. That's all my pros and cons, and obviously overall I really do love the car. I am like so in love with it, and I'm so happy I bought the Mazda. So if you are looking for a new car, or you're interested in buying a Mazda and you watched this video to find out, I definitely do recommend, and you don't need to get the carbon edition. That's a little pricier than the standard, but either way, I think the car in and of itself is really good, really reliable. Overall, really nice experience, and I'm very, very happy with my purchase. As always, thank you guys for watching this week's video. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Post new videos every Sunday-ish. I'm trying to get back on my weekly schedule. And that is all for this week. I'll see you guys next week or somewhere else on the internet. Bye!